One thing that
And
Michael Pollan, who I'm sure you're familiar with, said that really sticks with me is he says anyone who's confused about where to start with their food, start with foods that your great grandmother would have recognized as food. And I feel that's so interesting. I mean, you can look back and romanticize the 30s or 40s, but I guess one thing that you'd notice quite quickly is a lot of the food's probably not going to have a shelf life of 12 months or more.
so that's an interesting point because if a food has a shelf life of 12 months, there's a reason why. Spoilage of food is caused by microbes.
Hmm.
All right, microbes from the environment, not necessarily the microbes that are part of your body. Microbes from the environment. Microbes are everywhere. You walk outside today. Everything that's alive has a microbiome. Every tree, every plant, every flower, every squirrel or animal, every dog. So when food starts to spoil and break down, that's actually just it's the circle of life. Basically, the earth is taking that food back and turning it into soil. So if food doesn't spoil, the reason why it doesn't spoil is because they've done something that kills microbes.
Yeah.
This is why you can have the, processed meats that sit in that cooler for a freaking year. And it's like, how does that meat not go rancid? Because it's got preservatives. Preservatives is like almost like saying antibiotics. We're basically saying the
Hmm.
same thing. Preservatives destroy microbes just like antibiotics do.
Is that the same with fruits and vegetables? Because we often notice, so our equivalent of, I guess it's like a Walmart. You go here, you've got Coles and Woolworths. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Victoria Australian supermarkets, but they're our big two. And you go in there and you buy an apple, for example, and the apples, I feel you can leave those in a bowl for a week or two. They might start to go a little bit saggy towards the end. Whereas there's a great store in the city called Terra Madre, which is it's like a bulk organic fruits, vegetables, anything else under the umbrella of organic foods that you can get for a reasonable price. And my wife gets frustrated because when we buy apples at the organic store, we'll bring them home, and the shelf life on those is noticeably different.
Yes.
And I know that they don't have any waxes or anything that's coded, but I always wonder, like, what exactly is going on there that's allowing the big supermarkets to have apples which last for such a long time, and this little organic grocery store to have apples which frustrate my wife because of their short shelf life.
Yeah. When things spoil, it's actually reassuring to me.
Yeah, interesting.
um, because it means that you're dealing with something that's probably less sprayed. So they've studied organic. It's funny that you brought up apples because there's a study that fits perfectly for this. So apples have a microbiome, okay, just like we do. And the microbes that are a part of the apple help that apple to mature from a flower to a fruit all the way. And just like our microbes help us to mature to become healthy adults. And they compared the apple that is conventionally farmed, sprayed with the usual pesticides, versus the apple that is grown organically. And they found that the apple that was grown organically had more microbes and it had a more diverse microbiome, just like us humans. And they've actually discovered in many studies where people eat food and the microbes that are a part of that food show up in their poop. So the fact that, like, yes, we can get probiotics from taking a probiotic capsule. We can also get probiotics from fermented foods. I think most people realize that. What many people may not realize is that you can also get probiotics from eating raw food.
Hmm.
And that's not to say that raw food is the only way. You can eat You can eat food that's cooked. That's also healthy. But having some raw food can actually be very good for us because it can have live microbes.